They're roofing the house next door to me, so not only have I been privileged to listen to their choice in music station this morning, because of course roofers like to put a big boom box right on the roof, but there's a bit of banging going on, so if you hear that, that's what that is. I wanted to talk quickly about Sye Ten Bruggencate's sort of refutation, if you will, of cogito ergo sum. So, of course, you know, when he's going through his shtick, sometimes he's fortunate when he asks people if they could be wrong about everything they claim to know, and they'll say, yes, I could be wrong. And of course, he has a heyday with that. But of course, sometimes he will have someone say, well, no, there are some things that I know. Well, what do you know? Well, I know I exist. How do you know it? Well, I think, therefore I am. And this is a knowledge claim you really can't deal with. So he likes to quote the famous atheist, you know, who debunked cogito ergo sum. He'll say, well, you're begging the question, right? It assumes the I. Of course, I've said before, I think this is ridiculous in 2013 that we can still be talking about that. And of course, he doesn't doubt that you exist. He's only using this because it's a desperate attempt to deal with the one knowledge claim that A, he can't deal with, and B, I think actually refutes a lot of his claims. I will explain. So, you know, again, he can't really deal with it because it is what I would call the self-attesting primacy of being. So, you know, of course, he will say the proof of God is that without him you can't know anything. But of course, that would require existing in the first place, right? You can't be aware of something unless you have consciousness. So there's a primacy in actually existing in the first place. Now, you know, and it's a self-attesting existence, so you don't need God to actually know it. That's a huge problem for the presuppositional apologetic. And so when it comes to the question of how do you know you exist, it doesn't matter what you say because, of course, it's self-affirming. You could not answer the question without first existing. So it's completely ridiculous. However, I would say this. I have the answer to the question if Sye asks it. If anyone else asks it, you just say, well, I couldn't answer your question without existing. But if Sye asks the question, I think it would be a great way to use one of his own phrases and sort of throw it back in his face. Now, I have it written down because I don't have it memorized. And in a way, that's something that actually does bother me. I think people should sort of know what they're going to say unless it's really, really complex. And so I always think it's cute when people ask Sye who God is, and he's got to read his little Westminster Confession thing. You know, you'd think if that's your supreme being and you're all in everything, that you'd have that thing memorized. Good grief. I got firing orders, and I have some things memorized. So, but this I do not. So, back to the topic. If Sye asks you how you know that you exist, the correct answer is, the purple penguin weighs Friday, therefore the much. Thanks for watching.